I'm John Kovach. I've been a newsman, a sports announcer, and a football coach, but the one constant, since I was old enough to stand next to a stream with my dad, has been fishing. I've waded rapids, stood on slick rocks, hacked through ice, and been tossed about the deck of a boat. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do, and join me on this journey. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. We're in Massapequa Park on Long Island in New York. We're with Jimmy Sabatelli. Jimmy has developed an app for your smartphone that will allow you to get a photo that will give you an accurate length and a reasonably accurate estimate of the weight of your fish, plus get it back in the water in less than 30 seconds.
So it was fishing for these catch and release fish like the striper primarily that drove you to come up with the app?
Yeah, that was exactly it. So again, you know, I was saying earlier, I grew up in fishing in the 80s, and I used to hear my dad complain about it, how bad the fishery was. We would get some fish. We were primarily blue fishing because that's the only game in town at that point. And once in a while, if you got a bass, it was by accident. Yeah. But there was like brief periods of time, I remember in like October, November, where we actually would have a week, 2 weeks of small, but like 15 to 20 inch fish. But again, I was probably like 8, 10 years old. It was fun. So then you know, you had the like I was saying earlier, you had the moratorium, then you had the one at 36. And those same waters that I was fishing when I was younger, it was like night and day. Oh my God, the amount of bass, the size of the bass, it was unbelievable. It was amazing. And then when I, you know, then as I got older, like in my 20s, I wasn't fishing as much as I used to as a kid, or even now for that matter. So I got away from it. I always fished, but I wasn't fishing as nearly as frequently as I was because I was too busy. I was going out with my friends and whatnot.
Right.
Then we moved out here about 8.5 years ago. So now, you know, we're right by the water. We got the lake because I wanted the lake so I can fish in it. But I also wanted to do, you know, because my love has always been striped bass fishing. I grew up with it. I've always loved it. And so, you know, we're right by the salt water. We have the fresh air, which is a lot of fun. It's convenient for me. But we have the salt water, like literally a stone throws away from me. So I started actually getting into that, and again, what a difference. It was huge, the amount of fish that we were getting, the size of them. I remember a few years ago when I first moved out here, the majority of the fish that we were catching were keeper size. It was great. So, you know, you had the fishing, you know, in the 80s it was horrible, the 90s you had the resurgence, so from the 90s all the way to like up until probably about a few years ago, you had a really, really good fishery. But even back in, I'd say 2010, 2011, I noticed the change. And you know, now it's night and day how it was from 10 years ago. And so I said to myself, as a, you know, maybe I can do something to help promote catch and release, and that's how I came up with the app. And my thinking is that especially nowadays, everybody wants to share on social media. You know, a lot of people post stuff on there, whether it's Instagram, Facebook. So I said to myself, you know what, if I can develop a way that can basically, you hit it hard out, look at that. All right, here we go. Oh, he's a big one.
Yeah.
Let's do this one quick.
Right, so there we go. Here's a prime candidate. You can show us how the app works.
Yeah, here you go. All right, so quick on hook. I got him. So you know what I'll do? What I'll do here is I'll take the point of reference. I use the snipe flap. I'll put him on the grass.
Okay.
This is when he flaps around, it'll be all right. So yeah, they got you small. Pretty fish. Select the app, come over here, stand over it, done.
And a point of reference is just a known object that you know.
Correct.
The length of.
Yeah, let me just get them out. Yeah, so, okay, so this is how the app works. All right, and this is what you have to. So now what I'll just do is I said okay, it's okay, I'll hit no, and now he's in the library. I'll process this probably later on tonight or even tomorrow for that matter.
And this expedites the release as well because you don't have to do it immediately after the catch. You can get the fish back in the water. And
as soon as you unhook them, right back in, you unhook, you take a quick picture, you throw it right back in the water.
It's just a matter of getting a photo of a fish with a reference
with a reference in it, yes. So, pretty, right?
Very.
All right, so Now we'll just select the app, take a quick picture of them. I got the point of reference in there. Good, that's it, done. Okay, we'll save it for later. Hey, let's get him back in the water. Let me try not getting spiked while I do that.
Yeah.
There you go. Worse for wear. Yeah. So now in this case,
so
go ahead.
15, 20 seconds from.
Yeah, it's about 20. Yeah, we timed it actually. Yeah. So for example, these pair of pliers, right? These I use a lot with me. Most fishermen usually carry a pair of pliers on them. So with in this case, what I don't have to do is it's already entered into the phone, right? But so now what I'll just do is when I process that picture, right? I got to, even though this is already in the phone, this reference object was already entered at an earlier time because I've used it before. You still got to measure this, and then you measure the fish. And the reason being is because of the distance that we said earlier. But the way it works, also what's good about it is that, say for example, I'm at a beach, right? And oh yeah, I'll give you an example. Last year I got a striped bass. I was surf fishing. It was a little rough, so I didn't want to put a reference object down with the fish because with the waves coming up. Right. So you know what I did was I put my boot in there, snapped a quick picture of the fish because a lot of guys do it anyway as a point of reference. And when I got home, I measured from there to there. I was able to measure the fish based off of that.
So you could do this in theory without taking the fish out of the water. Say I catch a trout and I've got my rod marked with, you know, a here and a there for, you know, X inches. So I could put that in and then use that as and minimize or not take the fish out of the water.
You can do that, but you just got to keep in mind is one, the fish, in order for it to be accurate, the fish has to be extended.
Okay.
That's one thing. And two, you just need to be able to see it where if you take the picture, because now you're going to be processing it with your finger. So you've seen the videos, right? Where you can, so you just got to make sure that enough of that fish is out along with the rod that you're using as a reference where you can actually physically measure it. But yeah, in theory you can do that. What I've also done is what I've also used here, and again there's other videos I have of this where I have this down, and I'll try to get another one, I'll do it that way. And I've actually used this as the point of reference. You know, the two guides over here. So I'll put the fish down here, I snapped a quick picture, I let it go, right? When I went to go process it, and I actually did this a few weeks ago, I went inside, I measured this. I said, all right, well, how far is this apart? I forgot what it was, but I measured that. Once I had that, I entered that into the app, and then I measured this, I measured the fish, and there you go. I had I had it. So I've used this reel too, this size here.
Or just anything that you can measure.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It can be anything. A buddy of mine, he caught a really big bass here last year. He got one over 7 pounds. You know what he used as a reference? Chapstick he had on him. He used the chapstick, yeah. Nice fish, really nice fish.
So you come up with the idea, how then did you develop it into the app that's available now?
Yeah, so it's still ongoing. So we have the Android version that's out there, currently working on the iPhone. It was a lot of work because we did it from scratch because obviously nothing like this exists. I've been playing around with the idea for quite some time. I was a computer major in school, you know, that was my concentration. So I more or less know what computers can and can't do, and it's really, it's a simple, it's not difficult. So with that being said, you know, I asked around a few people I spoke with, you know, I thought what they thought, what they thought about it, they liked it. So we went ahead and decided to proceed. I found a developer. The guy that I got was very good. So what we would do is he and I would bounce stuff off of each other. The guy was very proficient at, you know, at the programming language, which I'm not even sure what it is, but he was very good at the programming language. And basically I told him, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I wanted to do. And then he would send me something. And then I would say, all right, no, it shouldn't look like this, it should look like that. So then another feature which we added in there. So say for example, I take a picture of that fish, right? And I want to send it to you. Go, look, John, look what I caught. So I'll send it to you. So another functionality we have is that you can automatically send the picture with the stats. I can upload it to Facebook, Instagram, email, or text message you.
Oh, wow.
Or what I can also do is, I can even send it to you without the stats, just like a regular picture. I can upload it that way also. And as we were using it, one of my buddies, he caught, I think he caught a striped bass. He put it down as a bluefish. He couldn't change it back. We put in the functionality, we can rechange it back. We can change it to say, all right, it's not a bluefish, it's actually a striped bass. So we added that functionality to it. And again, this is all as we were using it. I caught, last year, one of my buddies, I caught my best striped bass last year. I got it back in October. we guesstimate, it was a big fish, because when I kept on picking him up, he just kept on, his tail was still on the ground, and it was up to about here, but finally he came off the ground. It was a good fish.
Big fish.
Yeah, so we guesstimated him at first, we figured mid to high 30s, right? And then, you know what, to be honest with you, I was looking at the fish when I got home that night, and I measured him, and he came out to, I think, like 37 pounds or something. And I was like, you know, because I held the fish, and I was like, you know what, I don't think he was that big. I think it might have been a little lighter. So what we did was we also added the functionality where I can change the body type. So originally we did it as hefty, right? And he came out to, I think, like 37 pounds or something, or 35 pounds. Yeah. We changed it to average, he came out to 32 pounds. That seemed more realistic, more reasonable.
And how many body types are available?
It varies by species. It's a good question. Striped bass, you have 3. Striped bass, you have lean, average, and hefty. Some species of fish, you'll just have, like for example, we just added the sharks to it, the sandbar sharks, and that's just basically, that's just one. You just have, if you do the length, if it's X amount of inches, it's gonna be Y pounds of weight. So some fish have the 3, some fish don't have the 3. They'll just have the length, and whatever length it is, that's what it's going to come out.
But you had to come up with all of those essentially grids where
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Length versus girth.
That's exactly what it is. Before, you know, that big bass I told you about that I let go, it was a little bit more than 48 inches. The first thing I did, I went home, and this is before the app was developed. I went home and I looked at one of the charts to give me an idea how it was. So it was a 40+ pound fish. And again, it's not, you know, this is never going to replace a certified scale. It's not replacing a ruler. It's just another tool. And it's also like most everybody has a cell phone on them. You know, it's also lighter. You know, sometimes I don't carry the Boga grips. The Boga grips are great, but sometimes I don't carry them on me because they're heavy. You know? And same thing with the tape measures sometimes. It's just another thing to carry.
And sometimes it's unwieldy.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, and the thing is too is, you know, this is quick. And besides, you know, I think I said it earlier also, besides, I wanted to give the angler the ability to be able to release that fish as opposed to taking it if they're not going to eat it or if they're just going to give it away to their neighbor. Yes, it's their right. If it's legal, by all means you can. But again, to try to get that fishery back to the way it was a number of years ago, because again, I lived it, I'd rather be more conscious of it, at least let people be more conscious of it.
So this is really expediting the release, but knowing what you caught.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, it's not like, you know, you have proof. Because think about it too, a lot of times, like, at least for me, every time I go fishing, you know, I always touch base. Like I have a group of friends that I touch base with. First question we ask, what'd you get? How big?
Yeah.
You know, that's it. This is basically that, except a little bit more accurate. So that's more or less the premise of it.
Do you have a website set up?
Yeah, it's, what's that, www.fishermansmobilewaystation.com.
And that's the app they should look for, is the Fisherman's Mobile Way Station.
Correct. And you'll see on there, you have pictures, you have videos of it in action. Yeah, it has all information. You know, there's also questions like.
We'll be back with more Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop right after this. School's out, the weather is hot, and the fish are biting. Whether you're heading to the beach or out on a boat, stop in at the Dock Shop before you go to fill your beach bag or tackle box with everything you'll need for fun in the sun. A new beach cover-up, some sunscreen, or just some bait, the Dock Shop has you covered from either location. 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. And yes, you heard that right. Bait is now available in Darien and Westport. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. DockShop.com.
Celebrate summer with fresh, made-to-order picnic boxes from Walter Stewart's Market. We have delicious summery selections from buttermilk fried chicken to grilled lemon chicken kebab, grilled shrimp Caesar salad wraps, or lobster salad rolls. Our easy-to-carry picnic boxes come with your choice of a meal, as well as a dessert, beverage, and utensils. Order online for simple pickup options. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and online at stewartsmarket.com.
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Baystar and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside.
Registration is now open for our fitness training programs for high school athletes. The InSports Performance Center is offering blast speed classes, athletic functional movement assessments, and both men's and women's elite speed and strength training. Our premier programs help bring athletes to the next level. Call 203-268-1214 for more information. Like and follow us on Facebook.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now at the Summer Clearance event. Now through August 31st.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop, Thursday, August 17th. Can't believe summer's that far gone right now. I want to thank Jimmy Sabatelli. Great time down in Massapequa Park on Long Island, spending the afternoon fishing with him and talking about the Fisherman's Mobile Way Station. It's an app I'm definitely going to be downloading. We'll let you know when the iPhone version is ready. I just think it's something that really could help expedite release if you're a catch and release fisherman, while getting you the photo that so many of us want and getting you that accurate, not all of us want accurate all the time, length and weight of the fish. A lot going on with catch and release off of Long Island. O-Search is back there. Expedition New York #2 is off Montauk. They are again targeting great whites, looking for the young ones, trying to determine if they're if it's a breeding ground. And what's great is the kids from Brunswick School down in Greenwich, we met them out there last year with their teachers. This is a different group of kids, same teachers. They're out there again with O-Search, and we now have a second shark, Bruin, named after that Greenwich private school. The kids get a great experience. They get immersed in that. They learn the science of it. And they get to see what O-Search does. We will actually have a camera on the O-Search this weekend, and we'll be having a segment on an upcoming Yankee Fisherman about what O-Search learned from the first Expedition New York last year and what they're hoping to continue with their research in sharks. Continuing with sharks, an interesting paper came out, this by Dr. David Schiffman. He's Why Sharks Matter on Facebook and on Twitter, and he studied a Facebook group in Florida, and he found, and this is unfortunate, he found a great number of shore-based shark anglers really not just violating the fish and game laws, but really flouting, really just letting everybody, hey, yeah, we're violating the fish and game laws, and we don't care. And you've got that shark dragging video, which is awful, out of Florida from a few weeks ago. And it's leading to conclusions and to chatter on the internet that I've seen, and this I saw earlier today, that anglers, even though they have the same end goal as conservationists, as environmental scientists, that they don't have a good opinion of them and that they kind of, deride them. And I reached out to Dr. Schiffman. I tried to make it a point that it's not every angler who acts and feels the way that some of these on Facebook in this one particular group that he studied do. And this is the evolution of the slob fisherman who leaves the trash in the woods. This is the guy who catches a fish and doesn't want it and just leaves it on the shore to die. And now you've got, it casts all of us in a bad name. So now when you've got people out there with O-Search trying to catch sharks for study, and scientists saying, we're getting data that we couldn't get because the anglers are getting us access to sharks that we couldn't get. And then at the other end of the spectrum, because of the behavior of a few, we've got people who think that the angling community doesn't care about fish and game laws, doesn't care about conservation. And I really hope that's wrong. And the people I associate with, I know, abide by the fish and game laws, and I really hope that's the majority of us. And it's something we need to think about, because I would really hate to see this activity targeted any more than it is. It behooves us to be stewards of the ocean, stewards of the rivers, stewards of the sea, stewards of the lake, and to fight for conservation, and to not, not break the fish and game laws, and then not boast about it on social media. So hopefully the resolution of this is that law-abiding anglers and the scientific community, the conservationists, can nip some of this in the bud and get things straightened out so that endangered species are protected. Speaking of which, a big arrest in Rhode Island. They've had a couple here, but they caught a 25-year-old at the Fort Adams boat ramp in Rhode Island. He was in possession of 16 stripers, over 34 inches in length. None had the right pectoral removed as required by law. He wouldn't say where he caught them. They believe he was caught at Southwest Ledge. But this fisherman, who has both a Rhode Island and Massachusetts commercial licenses, was charged with 16 counts of fin clipping and over possession. The fish were donated to a shelter, and the fines there could exceed $3,200. So a big deal there. And again, the striper population, and we talked about it in the Fisherman's Mobile Waste Station piece, we've got to watch that. And that's another one that we're looking at new regulations on, because there are concerns that that population's been overfished. We have to police ourselves, otherwise we are going to have someone else doing it for us. And speaking of regulations, you do have to till August 25th to testify, to enter testimony on the proposed new regulations, which include the trout stamp, the salmon stamp, the expansion of some of the wild trout management areas of interest here in southwestern Connecticut, the Mill River one. If you have a question, you can go to our archives, han.network shows, go to Yankee Fisherman. On August 3rd, Peter Arstead of the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection explained the regulations. Again, we had a hearing last Wednesday night. 9 people showed up, 2 spoke. They were both in favor, but there are hundreds of negative comments online where people can submit. Most opposed to the trout and salmon stamp because they see it as a new tax. It's a minimal fee that will help preserve the hatcheries and the programs that they support. Nobody wants to pay more for anything, but in this case, I think you have to, and I think it would be a good way for fishermen to prove that they're willing to step up and do their part and get the state to back off in terms of closing the hatcheries. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with more Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop right after this. School's out, the weather is hot, and the fish are biting. Whether you're heading to the beach or out on a boat, stop in at the Dock Shop before you go to fill your beach bag or tackle box with everything you'll need for fun in the sun. A new beach cover-up, some sunscreen, or just some bait, the Dock Shop has you covered from either location. 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. And yes, you heard that right. Bait is now available in Darien and Westport. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. DockShop.com.
Things are heating up this summer. See some of the world's best tennis players at the Connecticut Open presented by United Technologies. Enjoy food trucks, entertainment, and special events throughout the week, August 18th through the 26th. Get tickets at ConnecticutOpen.org.
Now teeing off, Paul Miller from Miller Nissan in Fairfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What about my new Sentra?
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
He is never going to retire.
At Pure Barre Ridgefield, our tried and true method can shape every body and fit any schedule. Pure Barre is a total body workout using the ballet bar to perform small isometric movements which burn fat, sculpt muscles, and create long, lean physiques. Sweat away the day and get lost in the music. Pure Barre Ridgefield, located at 86 Danbury Road. Like us on Facebook at Pure Barre Ridgefield.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now at the Summer Clearance event. Now through August 31st.
I'm Tracy Masella, a licensed clinical social worker at Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan. Join me each month as we talk with experts on the front lines of the treatment of mental health and addiction. Straight Talk with Tracy, a Silver Hill Hospital production, airs at 12 p.m. on the second Thursday of each month here on the HAN network.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop, Thursday, August 17th. Fun event coming up this weekend, and that is Beer, Bass, and Brats. Beer, Bass, and Brats. I know it is tougher to say than one would think. And that is a smallmouth bass outing on the Housatonic River in New Milford. It's held by MiannisTU, MiannisTU.org for more information. A fun time. It's fishing, it's hanging out, it's hopefully getting to a bratwurst festival, and just meeting some good people. Another chance to do this and to get together with like-minded people. On Tuesday, August 29th, Trout Unlimited and Sweetwater, the brewing company, are having Save the Housatonic at Stone's Throw. That is in Seymour. That is Tuesday the 29th from 6 to 9 p.m. Keep the pint night. There'll be music, raffle prizes. Money raised will be donated to TU to clean up the Housatonic River. I plan to be there. And we really can't end this show without a happy 101st birthday to Agnes Van Putt up at the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum. Still there. Still, Agnes is the Catskill Fly Fishing Center, and she does a great job with it, and she's still there all the time. No shows August 24th and 31st. August 24th and 31st, excuse me. We'll be heading out on the road for the FCAC Fall Sports Tour, getting ready to launch the season. We will be back September 7th with more Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop. Till then, tight lines.